everybody, it's Eric.
This is Glenda.
We are D&D Miniature Board Games. Glenda, what do we got?
We got the Star Trek Ascendancy Vulcan High Command.
You want to see what's inside? Stay tuned. So, the Vulcan High Command.
The Vulcan.
This is the basically the second wave of expansions for Star Trek Ascendancy. The first wave was...
Been a while too?
Could have been. Ferengi and Cardassians.
Oh, you just said that. The Ferengi and the Kardashians.
But with this you got the Vulcans and Andorians.
We're not allowed to smile. This is a Vulcan. Can't do it.
We get accused of not smiling anyways.
Not me! Let's see them.
No, it's not going to stay up. Oh. Alright, so on the very top you get the player expansion set. These are the rules to be able to play the Vulcans in Ascendancy. You will need an actual core Ascendancy game, but you can usually pick them up pretty cheap, between $50 and $75 online, or in your local gaming stores. And you get, as Glenda called this the last time,
the console.
The console. This is where you track your upgrades to your weapons and your shields. And obviously you get some more research, some culture, your Ascendancy tokens, your warps, your basically connects your planets in the game. You get your production tiles, you get your command, your warp tiles, and you get the Vulcan home world. Now with this you also get, it looks like 9 new exploration tokens. You get a singularity cluster, a temporal anomaly, Benzar, Mazar, Trill, Ditelix, Nervala, Pallas, Yuri. You know what? I watched Star Trek, but you know, not to the point that I remember the name of all these planets that are in it.
So you mean you can't play the trivia?
Probably not. I probably wouldn't do too good to Star Trek trivia.
Okay.
So, for those of you who are familiar with Star Trek Ascendancy, you can either fly your ships around by themselves, or they can go into what's called fleet status. Now, with the Vulcans, you get an observation, science, and console. Now, this limits the amount of ships that you have in the fleet, but they have special abilities that each fleet does. But if you don't want to use one of those, you can always flip it over and use the 9-ship fleet and fly around like that.
Your basic ships, right?
You also get the building phase
card.
It's the quick reference card. You get building phase and your command phase on the back. It shows you how much everything costs to build, and it shows you what you can do during the command phase. And this should be your tech stuff, your Vulcan advancements, because everybody wants to advance their culture. So in your starting advancement, you got the Vulcan High Council.
So you have 15 Vulcan advancements.
The Vulcan High Council allows you to build ships and form fleets in any of your systems which have an ambassador. On your turn, you may use a command to move an ambassador to another connected system you control. And then we have another Vulcan High Command. You have Tomb of Sark, Long Range Listening Post, Vulcan Exodus, Katra of Sark, Ministry of Security, Obelisks of Ancient Vulcan, Vulcan Monasteries, Kirshar. Okay.
Alright, so you know Eric cannot read now, cannot pronounce too. Not like.
And she fixed it up.
Kirshara, Writings of Surak. How hard is Surak? Vulcan. Okay. And what is that? Is it the...
Well, these are different because...
Another...
These are the agenda cards.
Okay, so 10 Vulcan agendas.
Because I don't think anybody else has agenda cards, so...
Because, you know, they always have an agenda.
To win the game, control 10 systems. To win the game, occupy 6 phenomena. To win the game, reach 8 ascendancy. To win the game, control 9 research nodes. To win the game, orbit 8 developed systems you do not control. To win the game, have 8 warp tokens pictured on your completed advancements. To win the game, control 7 culture nodes. To win the game, control 12 production nodes. To win the game, fully upgrade your weapons and shields. To win the game, complete 3 advancements from other players with at least 1 from each.
Well, how many agendas do you need?
I'm not
to
sure.
win the game?
I'm not sure how many agendas you use per game.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you have the rules in front of you.
Yeah, but we're not here to read the rule book to everybody. We're here to just show them what's in
And then
the
obviously you have your 3 trade agreements. And your new exploration cards.
And that should be how many? Did you count it?
Looks like 12.
Oh, 10.
10. At this time, I can't count either.
See, it says here 10, Eric counted 12. So you can just play it and see if you got it right.
So you get your new colonies for the Vulcans.
They're orange.
And you get your resource nodes for production, research, and I can't remember what the blue one is. I'm feeling really dumb right now because I can't remember what the blue. Culture, research, and production. That's what it is. And they slide into the colony just like so. Or if you have a planet that only has 2, whatever the system says, what you get is what you'd put around these colonies. And that's what builds up your culture and production and
Oh, it's just one agenda.
research. Just one.
One agenda. The Vulcan player drew 2 cards. Pick one. Set the other one on the side. The hidden one. Okay.
So the Vulcans have this little triangular style ship. Those of us that have watched Star Trek, we're familiar with this style ship. It's the Vulcan ship. So if you're just flying single ships around, this is what you'd use on the board. Or you'd use these to track on your fleet card. And your fleets obviously have this little, and these must be the ambassadors.
Looks like one.
So your fleets get on these pyramid style things, and the ships are a little bit bigger, but it represents a group of ships. And then you have your ambassador here. The ambassador plays a role in the new Vulcan expansion.
Okay.
So, the Vulcan High Command, along with the Andorians, which hopefully you've already watched the unboxing for. So if you play Star Trek Ascendancy, these are the new expansions that you can pick up for the game. Along with the game itself has the Federation, the Klingons, and the Romulans. The first wave of expansions was the Ferengi and the Cardassians. You can also now get fleet packs to make the fleet larger. You can get the space stations?
I don't know. Alright, so there you go, the orange Vulcan.
So that's Star Trek Ascendancy, folks. If you are interested, just remember you do have to get the base game to play with these expansions. As always, support your local gaming. We support
Discovery Games, Fayetteville, Georgia.
Game on, everybody.
Game on.